boys and girls, it's Miss Miranda with Storytime for At Home Learning. Today's story is called An Amazing World of Ants, written by Francine Sabin and illustrated by Eula Connor. Pay attention to the details as Miss Miranda reads. Picnics mean fresh air, playing games on the grass, tasty food, and ants. First one ant appears, then 3 or 4. Soon there are long lines of ants marching right to the food. Ants are always busy looking for food. When one finds some, it tells other ants. It does this by tapping other ants with its antennae. Antennae are long, thin feelers that stick out of the top of the ant's head. Ants are very neat insects. On each of an ant's 2 front legs, there is a comb. An ant cleans its feelers by lifting a leg and drawing the feeler through the comb. Did you know ants had combs? An ant's body has 3 parts. The head in the front, behind the head is the middle called the thorax, and the ant's legs are connected to the thorax. The back part of the ant is called the abdomen. The ant's stomach, crop, and intestine are in the abdomen. When an ant eats, some of the food is stored in the crop. Then food is brought up later by the ant to feed other ants in the nest. The rest of the food goes into the ant's stomach and intestine. Ants also have a way to show other ants where food is. If an ant finds something to eat, it rushes back to the nest. On the way, it stops every few inches, pressing its abdomen to the ground. This leaves a trail of scents that will lead other ants to the food. Ants live in groups called colonies. All the ants in a colony help each other and work together. They feed each other and they fight for each other. An ant colony lives in a nest. The ants dig in this nest in the ground. Some ants spend their whole lives digging. They never leave the nest to look for food. These ants are fed by other ants, whose job it is to bring food to the colony. Kind of like the bees had jobs, boys and girls. Ants have jobs too. An ant nest has many rooms. Some of the rooms are used to store food. Some of the rooms are used for ant eggs. There is a room just for the queen ant too. In every colony, there is at least 3 kinds of ants. They are the queen, the worker, and the drone. Some colonies also have soldier ants. Each type of ant has a job to do. Worker ants dig, hunt for food, and take care of the eggs. Soldier ants protect the nest. They look just like worker ants, only a little larger. The drone is a small ant with wings. Drone ants have only one job: to help the queen. The queen's ant's job is to lay all the eggs. And a queen ant lives many years and lays hundreds of eggs each year. The other ants in the nest bring food to the queen, protect her, and take care of the eggs. The queen is much larger than any other ant in the colony. There are lots of things going on in an ant nest. Of course, all you can see is the opening on top of the ground, and maybe a few ants. But inside the colony, ants are busily and working in the rooms and tunnels of the colonies and the nests. So just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not there, boys and girls. In one room are the ant eggs. They are tiny, about the size of a dot over top of the letter I. And they're white. A worker ant takes care of the eggs, keeping them warm and moist. In about 24 days, the eggs will hatch and become larvae. Ant larvae look like tiny, fat, white worms. Workers take the larvae from the egg nursery to the larva nursery, where they are fed by other worker ants. Then they change to a pupa. There are other kinds of rooms in the nest. There are rooms to rest in and rooms to sleep during the winter. Ants are always digging tunnels, building new rooms, and closing off rooms they do not want to use anymore. In the spring, ants with wings come out of the anthill. Most of the winged ants are small, but a few are large. The small ants with wings are drones, and the large ones are queens. There are about 8,000 kinds of ants in the world. Some are large and some are small. Some are peaceful and some are warlike. Ants can be red, black, brown, green, or yellow. But all of them live in colonies, and all ant colonies have a queen. Some ants are even nocturnal, boys and girls. Honey ants go out of the nest to collect honeydew. These other ants are special. They store food in their abdomen. They are living storage tanks of food for the rest of the colony. When they are full, their abdomens look like shiny grapes or marbles. They're only kind of ant found in Africa and other tropical places. It's called the weaver or the tailor ant. Weaver ants are as green as the leaves they use to make their nests. They sew tree leaves together to form a nest that is waterproof. When it is done, nests look like a long green tube. To join two leaves, a few weaver ants hold the leaves' edges together, and other weaver ants hold larvae in their jaws. The larvae give off a kind of silken thread. When a larva runs out of thread, it is put back in the nest, and a fresh larva is used in its place. How amazing is that, boys and girls? Some ants are warlike. The army ants of South America and Africa, Draugur ants, are two of the most dangerous kinds in the world. They eat any insect or small animal that comes in their path. If you see a leaf that seems to be walking, take a close look. You may find that it's being carried by an ant. This is called a leafcutter ant. They work very hard. Other odd type of ants live inside twigs or trees. When worker ants come into the twig, it taps the flat head of the living plug. The soldier backs away and lets the worker in. The soldier will not move for anything that does not belong in the nest. So look, it's like a plug. It holds the hole in the nest. Ants are very strong for their size. Some ants can lift things that weigh 50 times as much as they do. And ants can live on the land almost anywhere. There have been ants on Earth for more than 100 million years. In museums, you can see these long ago ants trapped in amber. They are fossils. They look just like those uninvited guests who come to your picnics. The busy life inside an anthill is an amazing one. It is a city filled with six-legged citizens, and in some ways, ants are like people, working together and helping each other to build a community. So look carefully at this illustration, boys and girls. What you're going to do today is you're going to find out some kind of interesting fact about a weird ant, something that you didn't know before. And you're going to illustrate and write about it and let me know. I'll see you next time.